Welcome to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Dan, and today we're going to talk about this episode of The Flash.
Ah, yes, the Allegra episode. The best.
It's skippable. See you next week.
Yeah, that's, you know what? We don't really even need to do a show. That right there is enough and covers pretty much everything that really needs to be said. Because my goodness, it was...
No. Leave it blank. That's it. We're just going to sit here for 9 more minutes to fill the
Oh,
watch
okay.
time out. No, seriously though. So the episode was entirely focused on Allegra's cousin coming back. I don't even know what her cousin's name is. They have really terrible powers.
She looks like Scorpion a little bit, like female Scorpion.
They did a terrible job of the dubbing of the voice, because it's like at no point did she even look like she was talking. Like,
Well,
the mask never moved, nothing. It was just like...
I mean, to be fair, though, I think that's part of the character. Because I'm pretty sure a part of the character is the fact that she cannot talk. I can't remember how she can, but...
Yeah.
Because they definitely did. They're like, oh my gosh, you can't talk. We'll give you back your voice. And she's like, thank you, I appreciate that, because I can't talk right now. And it's like, wait, you're talking right now.
Okay, let's start with that, because that was the first super confusing factor for me. Super confusing. Because I was sitting there like, okay, so you're upset you can't talk and you're a monster, but you have powers and this like electronic voice and everyone can hear you. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you mean you can't talk?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there was a lot with her cousin that I think they assumed you would remember, even though I'm pretty sure we haven't seen her cousin since like a season ago, maybe even 2 seasons ago.
I remember it was like one episode she showed up because she had like this cool like one-off episode. She had this cool one-off episode that was interesting, but I remember her. I do remember her.
I remembered her, but not well enough that when they started like going into the details of like some of her stuff, I'm like, oh, that's right. She was with Black Hole, and I guess she was an assassin for like there was just a lot that they just brushed over. They were like, "Hey, important thing, but you don't need to worry about it."
You're right. So let's start with that. First off, this is the third episode in a row where we did not have Flash as the main character. He was barely in the Cisco one because he was too busy being all happy-go-lucky and yada, yada, yada. But then he was gone for the Cecile episode. And he was gone for this one.
He was technically in the Cecile one because he was in the Mindscape with her and like helped her overcome. Yeah, but it wasn't Flash-centric.
Right. It wasn't. Yeah. The show is called Flash. And sure, we give Cisco a way to leave, and then we did a Cecile-centric, and now we did an eccentric episode about Allegra, and he left. Like, he full-blown left. And the problem that I have with Allegra, and I said this on our comics experiment that we did the other day on our Comic Historian channel, who the hell is Allegra? Who cares about Allegra? Okay? Yeah. Iris was a nobody for 3 seasons, and the fan base was freaking out, like, give Candace Patton more, make her more than a damsel in distress, and it took them 6 seasons to make her into this actual reporter with her own organization and then give her sub-characters. And now we're like, and Allegra used to be a bad guy and she's helping out Iris. Let's give her an Allegra episode. Like, why? What? Who cares about Allegra? The show is called The Flash. It should have The Flash. It should have Flash's direct companions. And that should be it. Who cares about Allegra? And then, you know what? Who cares about Sue Digby? Why is she here? What is her point? She showed up to be like, hey guys, I know what I'm doing. And Chester, other new character that we've barely even touched the surface of and haven't even give a true central episode to, you are in the background so that I can be Sue Digby, the Catwoman of the Flash universe. What? Why? Why is she here? Allegra, Sue Digby, gone. Go away. Nobody wants you.
The funny thing about Allegra as well is that like her whole redemption arc was based around the fact that she like got a job for Iris's newspaper. Doing what? I never saw her do anything for that newspaper.
She occasionally called up Iris and was like, hey, here's some info, go here.
Yeah.
That was her arc. That was the interesting portions they threw into Allegra. And that's what irritates me. Sue Digby and Allegra are not, we don't need to develop them. Flash writers. You have the Flash, you have Iris, you have Joe. You had Cisco, you replaced him with Chester. You still have Caitlin. That is 6. What would be considered the core cast of the Flash. If you want to do a strong female-led episode, make it Iris. You have her already. Make it Caitlin. You have her already. I'm not against an episode that focuses on one of the female leads and gives them time to shine. But why are we doing Allegra? Phrasing, I know, but you know what I'm saying.
Well, you know what? No. I can't. Okay.
And Sue Digby, like, she should have been gone when Ralph left.
Sue, I feel like Sue is them having had plans for Elongated Man and then trying to struggle to fix it up, because I feel like if we had Ralph show up when this happened and Ralph shows up, his interactions with Chester would have made way more sense. He was a lot more core of a role in the Flash family. That would have given like a good connection, a good, just like someone to relate to. And like, I understand the reason why they can't. But it definitely felt like this was supposed to be him and they decided to use her instead. And I feel like,
but I don't understand why
Sue's character does not really work without the Elongated Man over the top humor to counteract the overly stern Catwoman style character. Like I feel like those are a yin and yang kind of situation where together it's like, this is amazing, but apart you're like, something feels off. But
what irritated me the most is we could have easily done Caitlin in the Killer Frost could have easily removed 6 or 7 of the people there. And since Dana Packer, I think her name was, she was the director.
Yeah.
Okay, you know what? Then fine. We can go ahead and we won't use Iris because we established Iris can't fight for some reason. I don't know why she hasn't learned 7 seasons in. You know, she wants to go and run off with this Flash Force Wars family, but she still can't even get into an actual combat role. Like, I'm going to go protect the people who have powers without the ability to even fight, but we're never even going to give me that. But you keep putting me in situations where I should have this ability.
Now, see, that would have been a great way to bring in Sue. That she shows up, she sees that Iris needs help defending herself, and Sue's the only one that does not have powers as well that can teach her to defend herself. That would have been a great use for Sue that I feel would have done that because it would have made it an Iris-centric episode.
No, I got this. I'm going to fix this episode, Dan. I'm going to fix this episode and remove unnecessary characters and allow the Flash to
remove the episode. That's how we fix it.
Well, that's step 1. But you have Iris in the Sue role. Iris is in the Sue role. The fights can be Allegra focused. Then you have Iris, and Iris's support character in arguing with Chester makes 100% more sense because Iris is established as being this character who knows a lot more, has seen a lot more, things like that. The battle sequences could all be Allegra if we want to go with that route. Because I know when I was reading an article about it, they're like, oh, it's a great thing they brought in Sue because she was able to fight 7 guys in a row. Cool, we want to keep the strong fighting sequence. We got Caitlin, and she's directing, so let's put Allegra in there. There's already characters established in The Flash that we don't need to bring back Sue. Sue could have been gone. And there's other characters that could have been the whole, like, oh, Chester, you don't know what you're talking about. Put Iris in that role. Iris and Chester have barely had any interactions. Like, Chester... Other than Cisco and Barry, who has Chester had long-term relationship development with? See?
The Still Force guy?
And the excuse of like, well, you know, Iris and Barry, they got to go bang. They bang, get a bang, bang, banging over there. Get rid of it. Barry can have any other reason he's not on the show if you really want to develop the cast. Yeah. But my argument is, why are we not developing the established cast members? You've already removed Cisco and replaced him. We don't need Sue. Ralph being gone has actually helped the show because we're developing core characters.
Yeah.
The Flash doesn't need 12 people.
Unless they're all other versions of Flash, then it's okay. Then you've got the Flash family. No, I fully agree. I feel like it would have been okay to have Sue in like an episode with like a stronger role, but I feel like over the past couple episodes, it's been too much too fast that they're going, okay, here are all the auxiliary side characters that we have. We're going to beef them up all in the span of 3 episodes, and we're going to shove 6 characters in there. Like, that's kind of how it feels. Like, they're not giving any of the characters a chance to breathe between what we're learning about them. Because, like, I'm pretty... Like, we just had Sue yelling at Chester a week ago.
Yeah,
like,
and now she's yelling at him again. And that's another thing that bugs me. Sue comes out of nowhere, is yelling at the newest member of Team Flash, who's been around for like 1.5 years now.
A lot longer than she has.
And she's not trying to work with Team Flash.
Yeah.
She's not trying to become a part of the team. Her whole arc was, I'm here to also stop, and you need to learn to deal with this villain, even though they're your family, and blah, blah, blah. You want to help, Sue? No, I'm gone. And then she just drops in, don't worry, I fought the 7 other villains. I was monitoring your chatter. Why didn't you just join Team Flash?
Yeah.
What are you proving?
Yeah, the way that they're using her is they're using her as just a standard, okay, we're going to write the episode. Oh, how do we get them out of this? Sue randomly shows up and knows everything for some weird reason.
She became this
because she's been
MacGuffin character who knows
them.
Yeah. She has all the answers. She fought all the extra bad guys for them. She didn't communicate, but she's awesome because she's in the background. She has 0 powers. We're watching a superhero show titled The Flash, and the central form of this episode was Allegra fighting her cousin and then gaining the power of heart like she's in Captain Planet. Like,
dude, that moment, I told Benny before he watched this that at one point I was like, oh my gosh, Allegra just found that her powers are powered by the power of love. And Benny's just like, what the hell are you talking about? And then later on, like a good maybe 20 minutes later, I just get this message of, oh my God, she's got the power of art. Call in Captain Planet. Because that was just such a moment where it felt so forced.
yeah.
Like, it wasn't even like a slow, like, oh, her chest, like, her heart is starting to shine. It was just a da-da-da-da, pwing. My heart is now glowing in a way that at first you're kind of concerned that my chest is about to explode, but then you realize what's actually going on. Turns out she's Dr. Light, which
I don't know.
honestly kind of feels like that's where they're taking her.
It was just such a bizarre episode. Like, it had nothing to do with any of the overall plots. Chester didn't get any growth. The newest character that I want to see get the line, I would have loved a Chester-centric episode. Cisco is gone, and the episode, he had development in it, but it was all about Allegra. And I'm just sitting here the whole time like, who cares about Allegra? Look, there's an entire fandom that wants more Candace Patton. Like, why is Iris not getting more screen time?
Well, she's getting banged, so, I mean...
But you know what I'm saying! Like,
that's a different screen time that you're asking for right there, Benny. That's not on the CW. That's on a different website that we can't mention.
And I just don't understand why, if we're doing an Allegra-centric episode, Iris wasn't even a part of it. Instead, we brought back Sue.
Yeah.
For what? To establish what?
Because Allegra, as far as I'm aware as well, Allegra and Sue don't have a relationship.
They don't, and Sue doesn't know Chester.
Yeah, like,
because Ralph was gone last season. Was it the end of last season or before? Either way, Chester was barely a part of it until this season. So Sue came back out of nowhere with no established characters that she does kind of know, and just starts yelling at everyone.
Yeah. Not a good episode. Not a good episode at all. And I'm wondering how powerful they're going to make Allegra, because they made her pretty darn powerful in that fight, like turning her into Dr. Light. Like, yeah. I'm very curious where they're going to go with
I don't
that.
want another superpowered being.
Yeah.
Like, the Flash has enough. We just got rid of Cisco. We got rid of Ralph. Let's just focus on the we have Flash, we have Killer Frost, we have Cecile, powered individuals. They're supported by reporter Iris, ex-cop Joe,
Yep.
okay, and Chester, the guy with all the knowledge. That's a cast of 6 that we need to make the show function. All considered main cast. But then you start adding in Allegra as the additional reporter. Like, do we need an additional reporter? Like, Sue as the cat burglar who can magically appear anywhere and has a whip with lightning on it.
As well as like a very conveniently placed like zip line, apparently.
Yep.
Which I thought was very odd because it was also incredibly low. Like, how did none of them hit their head on that thing?
Exactly. If you really want it, so that's 8 right there with 2 auxiliary characters. So we have 8 people off the top of my head that they're trying to further develop. Now, here's where it gets bad, and this is why I'm disliking Flasher now. It has nothing to do with this cast. These 6 were fine. I think we should develop these 6, but now we have 8 that we want to develop, 2 of which I find to be the most boring ever, okay? This is like when I'm trying to watch Supergirl with Dylan, and there's a cast of 10 people, and I'm like, who are half of them?
Right.
Like, but now we already know. Impulse is coming back, along with Nora, because she was taking my photos in there. So now we're back up to 10. Let's throw in the Force War family that we have on the weight right now. That's 14.
Let's not talk about
14
Force
people.
Family.
And what I'm counting here, Dan,
Okay.
is people who have been given centric episodes to develop them in full.
Okay.
Because the Force War people got centric episodes where we found out about their history, their past. They were being established. That was wasted time that could have been used on the 6 originals.
Yeah.
So this season, 14 people have been tried to get established and built upon. Now our viewers might go, Benny, it's not a big deal if we get 1 episode about Psyche or we get 1 episode about Allegra. But 14! I don't have enough fingers. All right? Now let's also throw in Wells, because Wells got an episode where he came back, and it was a whole Cisco-centric Wells episode plus Cisco episode.
That was a good one.
But that's 16 episodes, Dan.
Yeah.
Spread out among this season, 16 episodes developing each individual character. When we could do 6. 6 core cast.
Yeah, it feels honestly almost like the Flash writers are trying to give us a sampler pack. And they're trying to go, here are all the possible characters because we had to, or because the good character actors are leaving the show. Let's do all of these, see which episodes rate better. Those are going to be the main core characters. Like, it feels like that's what they're going for because, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that it just doesn't make sense for them to need it. It just feels forced. Like, I don't know. Like,
and this isn't even an argument about forced diversity or forced inclusion. Because the core 6, we have women, we have black people. The core 6 have a great.
Yeah, exactly. This is an incredibly diverse show. Even from season 1, I felt like it was a pretty diverse one.
Because I know going to the Reddit, I see, oh my God, we have a forced feminism episode. What blows my mind is you have 6. 6 core members that are already very diverse. We're already covering a large pool of people here.
It's true.
I don't care about the forced inclusion or the forced diversity. I want those 6 developed.
Yeah.
Those 6.
I want more of Chester. I finally want just like give me something with Chester. Give me an episode where Chester is making his own anti-meta weapons and stuff. Like, use him. Yeah. Use Chester. It's a great character.
I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They're just burying the show. If you go to the Reddit, it's most people just saying, I'm just waiting to see how it concludes at this point.
Yes,
or I'm waiting for Godspeed, because they hyped Godspeed this season.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Because I don't know what the plot is right now. Like, I don't know what the overall thing is.
One.
The only thing I know that is, like, overall is the fact that Barry and Iris are banging off screen.
Dan, this season has had 4 plots for Killer Frost, and now she's going to date the guy that's free.
You know, we're not even going to touch that scene. of like a what the hell is going on? She's in an alley, punches him in the back of the head, and he's like, ha ha ha, I snitched. I'm good now.
Yeah.
Like, what?
There was a whole arc where she was going to go to prison for her crimes, and the next episode she broke out.
Yeah.
She's like, nah, I don't like prison. I'm a good guy now.
Yeah. It's, oh my gosh. The more I think about this episode, the more I'm just like, I can remember why I stopped watching The Flash early on. It got better. That's the worst part, is it did get better. I was enjoying it. And
Since
then they
the Flash,
reverted.
the Force War, I've not been having fun with the season. I was enjoying the season up until then.
Well, I was fine with the Force War until they started calling each other bro, sis, and dad, and son, and daughter, and it was just like,
why are we using these monikers? Why?
It would have been so much better if they did not do it as like a family thing, but instead did it as a potential team up thing, like in the comics. Like, I don't know. I feel like they've been trying to force family into this show, and
is that even the demographic? Because looking at the Reddit, it is not.
Yeah.
All right, well, this has been our rant about how weird and wonky. At the end of the day, the episode wasn't terrible, but it's not a Flash episode, and that's my complaint.
Yeah. No, that's
the episode would have fit anywhere else, but it's not The Flash.
It's an episode of
That's
Heroes.
my complaint. So I'll see you guys next week. While we hope it gets better, because we're sticking it out.
Fingers
This
crossed.
episode's so bad that Dylan didn't even show up for the review.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm Benny. That's Dan. And we'll see you next time right here.
See you guys.